SCP-3120 Help Desk. Object Class Thaumiel. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-3120 is to be powered off and kept in a storage locker in the Communications Office of Site-81. One person in the administrative staff of each Foundation secure facility is to be granted Level 5 3120 clearance and briefed on the properties of SCP-3120. If the conditions outlined in Document 3120 Omicron are met, any person with Level 5 3120 clearance may broadcast a 3120 Omicron signal. Document 3120 Omicron, Level 5 3120 credential required.
Access granted.
A 3120 Omicron signal may only be broadcast if one or more Keter-class objects is in an active state of containment breach, and the object or objects in question do not have relevant, clearly defined procedures for the reestablishment of containment, and the object or objects in question, if not immediately contained, pose a significant immediate risk to Foundation facilities and or more than 1 million civilians, and the person broadcasting the 3120 Omicron signal subjectively judges the information leaks caused by SCP-3120 to be less significant risk than refraining from the use of SCP-3120. If the Communications Office of Site-81 receives a confirmed 3120 Omicron signal, SCP-3120 is to be powered on, and a staff member with a clearance level 4 or higher is to use it as appropriate.
Access restricted. Please enter Level 4 credential.
Access granted.
After the threat indicated by the 3120 Omicron signal is neutralized, the Foundation Memetics Department is to develop an anti-meme to the information distributed by SCP-3120. If disinformation campaigns are judged to be ineffective by the time the anti-meme is complete, it is to be deployed in all media markets. In particularly time-sensitive situations for which anti-memes cannot be developed as quickly as needed, nuclear or high-yield conventional weapons may be deployed in targeted civilian population centers, only pursuant to a unanimous vote by the O5 Council and a majority vote by the Ethics Committee. Description: SCP-3120 is a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge smartphone with a silver finish and English language interface. Its fingerprint recognition is apparently faulty, as any human can unlock the device with the print of a thumb or index finger. Of interest is the fact that non-humans and human analogs, i.e. silicon fingertips, cannot unlock the device. Humans with prosthetic hands, however, are still capable of unlocking the device using their prosthesis. Both its lock screen and wallpaper consist of a white background with a centered Arial bold text, with the lock screen reading "Information should be free" and the wallpaper reading "Intellectual property is spiritual theft." SCP-3120 is unable to receive Wi-Fi signals or cell service of any kind. It has applications installed that are consistent with factory settings of a device of the same model, but only the phone and contact applications can be launched. The device only has one contact saved. Attempts to add other contacts have been unsuccessful, under the name of Help Desk. The telephone number saved with this contact is 1218, redacted, which is a valid but unregistered number in or near Bemidji, Minnesota. Attempts to call this number are always successful when using SCP-3120. Attempts to call it using other telephones are unsuccessful, as are attempts to call other numbers using SCP-3120, and result in the caller being connected to an entity designated SCP-3120-1.
Access restricted. Please enter Level 4 credential.
Access granted.
SCP-3120-1 has a voice described as sounding like a middle-aged woman with an accent typical of the upper Midwest. It is cooperative with any test subject and answers questions of any nature with little or no hesitation. It is believed to have access to all information in existence, including the Foundation database, as well as otherwise inaccessible information held by several groups of interest, including redacted. On 4 separate occasions, it has provided detailed and effective procedures for the containment of Keter-class breaches, saving an estimated 550 Foundation personnel, over an unknown but millions civilians, in at least a double-digit number of universes, and millions of US dollars in Foundation financial resources. When SCP-3120 provides the caller with any information, it is also published within 24 hours in at least 29 known newspapers worldwide, including the New York Times, the Washington Post, Le Monde, Izvestia, Dagens Nyheter, Asahi Shimbun, and others, as well as mentioned on at least 90 known television news stations and in numerous posts by social media accounts affiliated with these organizations. Information distributed this way is also highly resistant to all amnestics. Testing using amnestics of Class 5 or higher have proven successful in halting the spread of the information in question, but only through the erasure of the subject's faculties of language and/or extensive neurological damage. Targeted anti-memetic images, text, and audio, however, have proven effective in suppressing the information dispersed by SCP-3120. For this reason, anti-memes are given extreme preference in SCP-3120's containment procedures. SCP-3120 was surrendered to the Foundation by one Jane Doe, who legally changed her name to J. Doe on redacted date in 2012. Miss Doe's name was formerly data expunged. Who claims to be the creator of SCP-3120. See Interview Log 3120 Alif for further information.
Interview Log 3120 Alif. Level 4 credential required.
Access granted.
Interviewer S. Kim, Deputy Director of Site-81 Communications, denoted here as K. Subject: Jane Doe, creator of SCP-3120, denoted here as D. Begin log. Tell me again, please. We're recording now. Sure. I made this thing to access information. I think secrets are kind of theft, you know? Anyway, I started to test it out. And could you please describe how you made it? I told you, it's hard to explain. Bought this phone and made it get information. I think it's not really changing what it can do, so much as taking away things it can't do. Does that make any sense? I think that's for researchers to decide. You'll be working closely with them for the foreseeable future. You could just ask the help desk how I did it, you know? That might be easier. Not a secret, though. I'll pass your suggestion along. Next question. Did you intend for it to publish all of this information in news medias? No, I didn't even know it was happening at first. All I got here, I looked back through some old newspapers and I'd see shit like the mass of the sun or how old Betty White is or whatever in the sports sections of the New York Times or something. But I didn't know what was happening until that front page article. And which article was that? My social security number. I figured, okay, the help desk can fetch me any information that Google can. That was the first step. But then I decided I'd try to fish for secrets, and my SSN seemed like the place to start. Front page news, right? Right. And not only was that number front page news the next day, everyone on TV was talking about it that night. I was fucking scared, dude. I called the help desk and asked it, What the fuck? What did it tell you? It told me it was doing what I designed it to, bring secrets out into the open. And I told it, no, dumbass, I wanted to expose the fraud that the government or Wall Street or whoever is doing right now, not publish my fucking social security number. What did it tell you? It told me, really politely too, that I was only saying that because it was my secrets being dug up. My social security number? Like, seriously? That's not even interesting enough to be news. But hey, everyone in the world learned it anyway. Finally, if you'd tell me again how you found the Foundation. Well, I asked the help desk who to give the phone to, to keep it safe, keep it from being misused, and it told me all about the Foundation, as well as exactly how to get to Site 81, how to get in, who to give it to, with a lot of detail as well. All of that turned out to be right, and, well, sorry about the news stories the next day. I am told you drained a lot of our resources with that stunt. That's no small feat. Well, I live in a cell now, and all of my friends and family think I'm dead. So, I got justice. If you want to call it that. End log.
Interview log 3120 vet. Level 4 credential required.
Access granted.
The following is a transcript of the call between S. Kim, denoted here as K, and SCP-3120 during the breach of SCP redacted from containment on redacted date in 2016. Good morning. You've reached the help desk. What do you need to know today? The entity known as SCP redacted has breached containment. How can we reestablish containment with minimal casualties and drain on our resources? Okay, just 1 second, please. Alrighty then. I have it here. Do you have a pen and paper? Yes, I'm ready. First, you'll want to make sure that the whole staff of Provisional Site Redacted is blindfolded. You got that? I do. Please continue. Each of them should be assigned a zone around the site in a circle 100 meters in diameter. They should all face inwards and hold air horns. Keeping up still? Air horns. Got it. The minute any of them hears a train whistle, they've got to blow the air horns as loud as they can, all around the circle. You get that? Everyone has to do it once they hear the first air horn. The sound ought to scare it back into its house. Betcha didn't know it was scared of loud noises, huh? We didn't. I'll get that added to its file. Anything to keep reality from falling apart, right? Right. Thank you. I'll relay this right away. Anything else I can do for you? No, thank you for your help. That's what I'm here for. SCP-3120-1 ends the call. End log. Notes: SCP redacted was successfully recontained with no casualties. Its containment procedures have been updated based on new information provided by SCP-3120-1. An anti-meme to suppress knowledge of SCP redacted was perfected 3 weeks later on redacted date 2016. By that time, disinformation campaigns were judged to be successful. The SCP redacted anti-meme was not disseminated, but is still on file.
Level 5 3120 briefing.
Alvea incident.
It should be noted that not every use of SCP-3120 is a success. Its file states that it has been used on 4 separate occasions. In reality, it is believed to have been activated 20 times or more. In June of 2018, SCP-Chi-9898 breached containment at Provisional Site Chi-98 in Alvea, the capital of Sweden. A person with Level 5 3120 clearance broadcasted a 3120 Omicron signal to attempt to reestablish containment. SCP-3120-1 informed the caller that the city of Alvea was to be destroyed, along with its population of more than 1 million civilians. The Foundation received accurate information from SCP-3120-1 in the past, and therefore complied. The procedures were successful, and SCP-9898 was completely neutralized. There are no known survivors from the city of Alvea. It is believed that SCP-9898 was an object capable of causing a ZK-class total reality failure scenario, but its exact nature is unknown due to widespread use of anti-memetic agents in the months following this incident. During this time, the Foundation was widely known and reviled by the civilian population, as SCP-3120's properties revealed both the Foundation's existence and the fact that it had destroyed Alvea. It is assumed that the SCP object classification system was also heavily altered after this incident, as its current and better known form has only 4,000 designations and does not make use of the Greek alphabet. Anti-memetic agents were also propagated among non-essential staff to suppress knowledge of the former system. As the current Level 5 3120 authorized person at your site, it is important to be aware of the possible consequences of the use of SCP-3120. However, some of this information is restricted outside of this briefing document. Exposure to the following anti-meme will suppress only the knowledge of the existence of Alvea and some minor details. Any questions regarding your assignment may be directed to the offices of 051, 4, and 8. Anti-memetic agent Chai 9898-02. Yes, please do not recall Alvea. Thank y'all all. Ya ta kom inti erhag. Alvea tuhon tak sa meket. Inte Alvea. Not Alvea.